Hello, welcome to this new session of the Intrinsic Leadership Program. In this session, you will focus on your strengths. And as always, we will proceed in 3 steps. First of all, we will explain why it is important for your performance to focus on your strengths. Second, through an exercise, you will determine or confirm your 3 main strengths. And finally, we will see how using more your strengths and seeing more the strengths of others can really help for your performance and performance of others. To start, I will refer to statistics. It's a survey made by Marcus Buckingham, who is an American researcher working on performance in organizations. He wrote books, makes conferences, and made surveys. And the first question I am asking you is the following one. Which percentage of your time in a normal day you feel you really use your strengths? Is it 10%, 20, 50? How much of your time in a normal day you feel you use really your strengths? The result of this survey on an American population is that only 12% of people have really the feeling to use their strengths the majority of the time. So it's not a lot. In his analysis, Marcus Buckingham showed a clear correlation between the feelings that people have to use their strengths and their performance. It's true at individual level, but as well at team and organizational level. By nature, human beings tend to focus more on their weaknesses than on their strengths. It's like this. And there is a good example how performance reviews are performed. Marcus Buckingham said that according to his survey, only 24% of people said that in the performance review, the manager really focused on the strengths. The majority of the time, he focuses on weaknesses or he does not speak at all about weaknesses and strengths. So what about your performance review? Do you speak more about your strengths or your weaknesses? And what about the performance review of your team members? And now, can you just imagine the difference it would make for yourself, for your team, for your organization, if everyone would use more their strengths and focus more on their strengths? There is here a huge potential for performance. The gap between 12 and 100% looks quite huge, but on the other hand, Marcus Buckingham asked another question. Why did you choose the job you have? And the majority of people said that they chose the job they have because it was a great opportunity to do what they like. So, in reality, most of people are the right people. It's just a matter of focusing on their strengths and creating opportunities so that they can use even more their strengths. So let's start with you. And let's determine now your 3 main strengths. Completely intuitively, in your opinion, what are your 3 main strengths? Perhaps it's related to special abilities in your way to handle relationship. For instance, empathy, ability to listen to others. Or perhaps it's related to a very specific area of professional expertise you have. Perhaps you are very good at innovation, or at solving problems, or in supply chain. Or perhaps it's mainly due to your personality. For instance, your perseverance, your enthusiasm, your serenity. What are, in your opinion, your 3 main strengths? Take the time to list them. And now, let's remember 3 professional successes you had in the past. It can be a big success, for instance a project, but it can be smaller successes, for instance a meeting or an interview where you felt you performed in an outstanding way. The most important is that you still feel proud about these successes. in your opinion, for their successes? What is the main strengths support you? Perhaps you will find the same ones as in the first question, perhaps you will discover additional ones. To go further in your strengths determination, you can use the document attached in the session. It's a standard model about strengths in professional environments, so perhaps it can give you further ideas. To complete this exercise, I will ask you today, tomorrow, or when you want, to go to 3 people in your professional environment. It can be your manager, a team member, a colleague, why not a friend, asking them, in your opinion, what are my 3 main strengths? And perhaps you will have the surprise to discover an additional one. It's always interesting to ask others because it's always great to have a mirror effect. The perception we have of ourselves is sometimes different from the perception that others have. So now that you know your 3 main strengths, the question is, how can you use your strengths in everything you do in a normal day? In everything you do, for instance, the tasks you like, and as well as the tasks you do not like so much. We have already seen how you can turn the boring tasks into more enjoyable tasks, creating links to your values, to your vision. Let's add now the perception of your strengths to transform them even further. Let's take, for instance, a boring meeting. According to your strengths, related to the way you handle relationship or your very specific area of expertise or your personality, how can you use the boring meetings as an opportunity to use even more your strengths and to make this meeting even more efficient, even more productive? Let's make the exercise and the experience for yourself to use your strengths in everything you are doing. And let's do the same for people working with you. Let's focus more on their strengths instead of weaknesses, and let's try to create opportunities for them to use their strengths even more, so that you and they will increase their level of performance and as well as their level of satisfaction at the end of the day. Because human beings are just like this. When you develop your strengths, you just develop yourself and you are happy at the end of the day. So from now on, use your strengths in everything you are doing. Focus more on them and apply the same for others. Thank you very much. Speak to you next time.